Thank you for downloading this podcast from the British Theatre Guide. For more information about British Theatre Guide, please visit britishtheatreguide.info. Roxanne Pallett is probably best known for her long-running character of Jo in ITV's Emmerdale, but has played a wide range of screen and stage roles since leaving the soap in 2009. She is currently appearing as Tyler in Neil LaBute's Some Girls at London's Park Theatre, and in 2017 will star as Holly in a new production of The Wedding Singer, a musical based on the popular 1998 film of the same name, for a national tour. I spoke to Roxanne the week before Some Girls opened, and I asked her to explain a bit about the character she is playing in that production.
I'm playing Tyler in Neil LaBute's play Some Girls, and we're in rehearsals at the moment, and we open next week at Park Theatre in Finsbury Park in London. And it's a really amazing piece, actually, because it's about one man's journey, emotionally and practically. He meets up with 4 ex-girlfriends just before he gets married. And so it kind of explores conflict and closure, and it looks at regret and remorse and all that unfinished business that we kind of have awkwardly with exes. And the play actually features 4 chapters, so 4 scenes, and it's the guy with each girl in the hotel room as they meet. So the audience are kind of the fourth wall. You feel like you're in that hotel room witnessing all those uncomfortable moments. And it's been a brilliant process, because Gary Condez, who is our incredible director, he's really pushed us, to the brink. We've had a 6-week rehearsal period, which is double the time you usually get when rehearsing for a play. And we've really kind of explored the Meisner technique, Stanislavski. We've broken ourselves down. Yeah. We've cried, emotional memory. And it's really helped us identify with why these characters are so flawed and broken, and why as humans we do carry such a lot of hurt and and remorse and regret and everything that comes with love that then comes to an end. So it's it'll make you laugh out loud, and it'll make you gasp, and it'll make you cry, and it'll evoke a lot of reactions and feelings. And I think that the audience will identify with at least one chapter. And we're loving it, and we're excited to open next week.
It's quite a luxury to have 6 weeks rehearsal, though, isn't it?
Very heavy rehearsal schedule, but well rewarding as well. Usually you have about 2 weeks and a week tech, but the Brooklyn Theatre Company and Gary Condez have really taken, their time with us, and we want it to be brilliant. It's only a month's run, and we want to really give our audience, a real treat, and we don't just want it to be actors performing, words on a page. We want to really strip these characters down. So we take them on a journey, and therefore our audience go on an emotional journey with us, because it's only like a 30-minute scene each of us actresses have. So we've got to cover a lot of ground in those 30 minutes. And we're loving it, and it's so emotionally charged, but it's so witty and clever at the same time. So it's a project I'm really excited about.
It's the techniques that you're talking about, the rehearsal techniques. They do require to have a lot of trust in one another in the rehearsal room, don't they? Because you're really exposing yourselves in those types of rehearsals, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, being an actor, you are really vulnerable, and you're really fragile, and your emotions are always on, that cusp, on that level, ready to break through. And there's an immediate trust and an immediate openness that you have with a cast from day one, and that's essential, because we're not working in an office or a shop or a restaurant. We have to cover ground that perhaps the characters have done in a matter of years, and as actors used to bond and used to form a chemistry and a personal connection with each other within a matter of days and weeks. So, we cried in front of each other on the first week. I mean, that's a bonding activity, isn't it?
Well, that's a good sign. It's a good sign that you have that trust in each other, that you can do that straight away, doesn't it?
Absolutely. There is a lot of trust there, and there has to be. We are exposing ourselves as emotional creatures, and I think it'll show that the longer you rehearse, the deeper you get, and the more that comes through with your characters.
So how did you cope with Neil LaBute's style of writing? He can be very cutting, and the men don't tend to come out very well of his plays, from what I remember.
To be honest, I actually think that Some Girls, it doesn't favour, the male versus the female. I think it's pretty objective, because I know Neil LaBute does write in a specific style, but he almost makes you look on the outside in. There's been moments where I've read it and we've been performing it, and we've felt an aggression and almost an empathy in equal measures for the lead guy. And so it's I actually think that it's pretty well balanced. There will be moments where you cringe and you just want to scream at this guy because he's so thoughtless and hopeless. But then there are moments that are quite self-explanatory why he behaves this way. There's how he is and why he is that way. And I think that Neil LaBute really takes you on such a journey that you will understand this character, this male character that we've got as a common thread. So I've kind of been, every day it's changed. My feelings towards Guy have changed. Sometimes I've just wanted to scream at him, and then the next I've almost pitied him. I've really felt sorry
just
for him.
Just like in real life then, really?
Yeah, and I think that, the men in the audience will relate to him, and there will be a lot of empathy for the character, because we are all products of our past and we are all reacting to what life throws at us. And I think a lot of relationships end with that, enormous question mark hanging over us. And sometimes, you're faced with a question you can't answer. Sometimes relationships just dissolve and the other person needs answers and you can't give them. And sometimes like that will appear cowardly, but in a way, we don't always have the answers for why we feel a certain way. Yeah. And I like that Neil LaBute, he does write in that way where the lead character does have this hopelessness about him. Yeah. It's frustrating for the audience to watch. It's frustrating for the girls in the play, and that is true to life. It's true. It's very accurate.
Yeah. I've seen your name on quite a few press releases recently. You seem to be doing some big things. The other major one, of course, is the Wedding Singer, with brand new production. So how did you get involved with that one?
I feel like it's the typical actor's life, feast or famine, and that's what we say to everyone. And it's so true. I mean, I went over a year with no work, and it was pretty dark. It was a really quiet time. And anyone, whether you're an actor or not, anyone that's been out of work for that amount of time knows that you kind of lose a sense of purpose, and that you lose your sense of identity in a way. Yeah. I didn't know what day it was, and it was quite deflating to wake up and wait for the phone to ring. And it wasn't that I was doing anything wrong, it was just the nature of the beast. And now I've got 3 roles consecutively, and it's the opposite. It's almost like my car's gone from being parked to doing 100 miles per hour. And you've just got to be used to it. You've just got, I think in life you've just got to roll with the punches and go with what is in front of you, and you have to take the knocks. And the hardest bit about being an actor, in my opinion, is waiting for the phone to ring. It's the quiet times, and it can be 6 weeks, 6 months, it can be years. And it's about holding on and staying focused and staying strong. But I've in the last 3 months I've got 3 roles in a row. You couldn't write it. My mum's thanking the lucky stars, because I think she was sick of me. I used to text her 10 times a day, and I was always there. She's like, thank goodness you've now got a passion project out, in front of you. And I'm always better when I'm busy, and I'm better when I'm creative. And it was it was a nightmare not having a project and not having a role. But so I've gone from filming a movie called Habit in Manchester, and that was based on a Stephen McGee novel, and that's a thriller, and that's going to be out next year. And that was fun because it was very art house, very David Lynch inspired, and very, very cool team behind that. And now we're rehearsing Some Girls, and then I have a few months out, and then I go straight into rehearsals for The Wedding Singer, which is such a dream come true, because I'm a right 80s kid. So when the call came about The Wedding Singer, because the Broadway musical version of the film was such a success that they're bringing it here, and it's a dream come true. So when I heard, I thought, this is right up my street, because I love a bit of 80s. You know, I'm always watching the John Hughes movies, and
Yes.
I love my power ballads. I'm big fan of Madonna's Immaculate Collection. So and the film is such a great movie, and so to bring it on the stage, and also it's got an original score. It's all original songs, and everyone's going to be in for such a treat. And I'm playing the wild child. I'm playing Holly, who is the
like
epitome of the 80s Madonna wannabe that has to be, she's all hairspray and bangles, and she's the party animal friend, the bad influence in a way. So I can't wait. And it's such a great cast. We've got Ray Quinn, we've got Cassie Compton and John Robbins, and then Ruth Maddox. So it's such a brilliant team. We can't wait. We're already texting each other, and we don't start rehearsal till January.
And we get to hear you sing as well, do we? Because I've heard you sing, but you don't tend to be known as a singer, more as an actor than a singer, don't you?
I've always said I'm an actress who sings. Acting's my main course, and music's my side order. I have no aspirations to be the next Britney, but I love singing, and it's always been a passion, and I've sung since I was little. And so when I can collaborate the two, when I can add my singing and my music to an acting role, it's a real treat for me. And I did that with the Rocky Horror Show a couple of years ago. And
yes.
So to get back on stage, there's nothing like that buzz, that live theatre buzz, and when the music starts. And obviously, when the audience know the film that your show's based on, there's already that fan base and that following, and there's a real passion attached to it. So I can't wait to get to all those big cities and meet all the audience members and just hit that stage, because it's been a couple of years. And although I'm on stage now, with some girls, it's very different, because, Park Theatre is very intimate. It's a 90-seater, and whereas, the Wedding Singer, it's going to be electric, really, isn't it? All these big venues, and it's on such a big scale that, it's exciting. And I'm so glad and blessed to kind of be mixing it up. Every role and every project so different. So to have that variety as an actor is incredible. I'm really, really grateful for that.
And it sounds like a cast that you're going to have some fun with on the road as well.
Oh, I can't even tell you. If I could publish Ray Quinn's voice notes on WhatsApp, I'd make a killing. There's a whole host of real life characters in the cast of The Wedding Singer, so it's going to be a lot of fun on stage. The fans are going to have a riot, and we become a family when you do a tour. You're away from home, and you're away for months, and you get run down, you get ill, you get homesick, you struggle like everybody does. You have an off day, and it's really nice when you have that company and that cast that feel like a second family. So I think we're going to have a brilliant time. It's going to be the number one tour next year, I think.
Oh, well, look out for that. Just as you get into the stage where your mum was perhaps looking for you to get a proper job after all these years.
Oh, do you know what? I don't think I'd last 5 seconds in any other career. I really wouldn't. I've had about 9 jobs before I got my first acting role professionally. I worked my way through every single restaurant and shop in Carlisle. I used to get the job on the Monday and get fired on the Friday. I really did, because I was just always singing and playing the clown, and just, I just broke rules, really. And I think that's part of being an actor, isn't it? Just expressing yourself and crossing that line and daring to dare, and I don't think I'd last 5 minutes. My mum is definitely happy that I'm other people's problem now.
Well, lots of people would be surprised to hear you say somebody like you, who people know you from the telly, and you're always in the newspapers, and it's probably surprising to a lot of people to hear that you have long periods out of work and get depressed, and it comes to everybody, doesn't it? It doesn't matter how well known you are.
Yeah, and I think it's important that when you're in the public eye that you talk about the bad times as well, because the average person reading about you on their lunch break, they go through bad times, and I don't think it's fair or accurate when you're in the public eye to just kind of present the good, and to say, oh, I've got this happening, I've got that happening. Well, what about the times you don't? I think it's really important that even just as humans, that we share, both sides of the story, because it can then help assure somebody that it's okay, things will get better. I mean, this time last year, I thought there was no light at the end of the tunnel. 6 months felt like a year, then it got to a year, that felt like 10 years. And you start losing a sense of reality. I didn't know what day it was because every day felt like a Sunday. Yeah. And, and all your friends are off doing their own thing, and you drop off the radar a bit, and people then forget to text you back. You suddenly stop getting invited to things. You then stop wanting to go to things because the first thing people ask is, what are you up to at the moment? Yeah. They don't say, how are you? They say, what have you got coming up? And then you start feeling like you're not enough. I mean, I started avoiding, weddings and parties and get-togethers because I didn't feel worthy to go without news for them, what are you in? And I didn't have anything to say. And what I've actually learned in the last year is, yeah, I'm an actor, but I'm more than that. I'm a person first. Yeah. And so it's done me good because I now realise that, even without a role, I should be able to walk into a room and feel worthy and feel like I'm enough. And I think that can, success as well can put a lot of pressure on someone because when you do go from 100 miles an hour to 0, you shouldn't feel like you're losing your identity or you're losing your character because my mum actually reminded me, she said, you are a person before you're an actress, it doesn't define everything. And she said, you're a daughter, you're a friend, you're many things. And I've realised that I have to feel secure in myself as well, rather than waiting for the phone to ring. But it is hard, and there's a lot of people out there that, even if they're not actors, they're waiting for a job and they're waiting for an opportunity, and it's plumbing hard, it really is. Yeah. But you've just got to stay inspired. I watched a lot of films, read a lot of books. There's only so many coffees you can go for on your own, though. I mean, I was that girl in the corner of the coffee shop, looking at my watch, looking at my phone, and but yeah, it's been a good. It did me good. It strengthened me. I think it builds character. I'm actually more proud of my struggles than I am my successes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, you learn from them, don't you? And well, enjoy the success while it's going. So, what are you up to today? I know
I've been up since crack of dawn. I've made a fool of myself on Lorraine Kelly's show because I've had far too many sweets and Red Bull, and Lorraine was looking at me like, what are you saying? Slow down. And I'm now at the rehearsal studio, so we're going to be just running through, really, because we start tech on Monday. So we're just running through and we're blocking and we're introducing props. I've got a smoke in this play, and I don't smoke in real life, so that's fun. Yeah. We're trying to de-cotton me because the minute I held a cigarette, my director was like, you don't smoke, do you? I held it like Doc Cotton. Yeah. So we're just polishing up little bits like that when it comes to props and just tweaking a few little moments of the scene, and we're just perfecting it, really, ready for next week. But we can't wait. We're really ready to roll now. We're excited to present this. And now our director, this has to be the most intense director I've ever worked with, and I love him for that because he's pushed me to a place. I'm thinking differently. I'm looking at my character through different eyes. So I always love meeting new people that I can learn something from. And Gary Condez has been an absolute inspiration. He's made me realise as well that it's okay to shine a little bit of yourself through a character. I used to think that was a flaw. I used to think, I've failed as an actor if I've done a mannerism that's my own, or I've let almost a little part of me be seen. But actually, Gary Condez has really educated us in thinking, actually, like the Meisner technique, you have to react as you, because that's the truth of the character. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm tired and I'm husky and I'm covered in bruises, but this is my playground, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Some Girls by Neil LaBute runs at Park Theatre in London from the 14th of July to the 6th of August 2016. See www.parktheatre.co.uk for details. The Wedding Singer will open at Curve in Leicester on the 9th of February 2017 and will tour the UK until September 2017. For more information, see www.thewedingsingermusical.co.uk. You've been listening to a podcast from British Theatre Guide. For more information, please visit britishtheatreguide.info.